Welcome to I Love This Thing So Frigging Much, a podcast about passion. My name is Sophie Katz, and today I am joined by Grace Parada, who is a writer with a passion for immersive storytelling. Welcome to the show, Grace.
Hi, Sophie. Thank you. So excited.
Good. So, here is how this works. Grace will have 3 minutes to talk about something that she loves. This can be a person, place, thing, concept, activity, anything she wants. Our only requirement is that she loves it wholeheartedly and wants to tell us why. Are you ready, Grace?
Yes, I am.
Good. I got my timer here. Now, what do you love so frigging much?
I love Figment so freaking much, and I want to thank you for letting me talk about him because not many people care to listen, and it might be because they don't necessarily know who Figment is, but I firmly believe when you hit a certain level of Disney park span, you form an opinion on Figment, and mine is that I earnestly and genuinely love him. And it's because what he stands for, which I'll get into. And I do want to disclaim that I recognize that Journey into Imagination with Figment isn't necessarily your top tier attraction, but that in itself makes me kind of root for him because it gives him an underdog mentality. And he once was like the king of Epcot. And I want him to get there again. So that's just one of the reasons. And I want to get him to get there again because he's like this wonderful example of what imagination can be and like what it should be. And this is coming from a perspective that I know like the ride variations and the history of Figment, but throughout all of those, he has this like pure relationship with like thoughts and ideas. And he like really encourages you to like let your mind go where it needs to go. And that like imagination is the beginning of everything. And that idea that imagination is the beginning of everything really is more noticeable in the first ride, Journey into Imagination. But I think that's important because like if you look up that ride on YouTube and watch it, or if you were lucky enough to get on it, you learn like with Figment about this like the conception of ideas. And a lot of people associate creativity with like the arts, like writing or drawing or dancing, like everything like that. But that ride really kind of hones in that creativity is the beginning of everything. It's the beginning of science, invention, and all of that. And I think that's an important message specifically for Epcot. And like the Imagineers at the time know it. And like that message is still there today. But I think Figment has to be that vehicle for that story. I think he deserves it. And even so, I think a punch up of the ride would be respected and celebrated. Personally, I mean, I have a nostalgic connection to Figment. I rode the current one today. I never got to get on the first ride, but I think I personally relate to like this willingness to let like imagination go crazy. And like I try to emulate this like boundless creativity with any room I walk into, whether it be like creative or not. But typically in like a creative room, like when you're like just throwing ideas back and forth, regardless if you like even grasp what the other person's saying to you, like that little spark, of course, I won't sing the song, but you know it, that little idea can lead to another. And that is like this wonderful explosion of just like fun and creativity. And that's why I love Figment, because I love that energy and I love to be around it. And if I have more time, if I don't,
well, you can finish the thought if you want.
Okay. That was like my extra, like little, if I have more time, this is what I'll say. But I think that people that love Figment, like Figment builds a community of just like great people that like really respect, you know, like the history of it and like the message of it and like the fun of it. So I just love Figment for many, many reasons.
It's great. Thank you for telling us about Figment today.
Please, everyone, watch every YouTube video about Figment. He's an icon.
So I think the first question I gotta ask you is, because someone might be listening to this podcast and genuinely has no idea who Figment is. So
of course.
You never actually said in there, what is Figment?
Oh my gosh, yes. So Figment is this little dinosaur. Oh my god, no, he's a dragon, everyone. Please, he's a dragon. And he is like this thought creation of a man named Dreamfinder. However, that is not explored in the current attraction. But he's just this purple, wonderful dragon who's just down to have a great time, and he's go with the flow in a way. And he's just takes you on this journey through imagination in Epcot every day. And it's great.
You referred to Figment as the king of Epcot, and I really liked that, because I know even people who don't know who Figment is, they've probably seen him if they've been to Epcot during any of the festivals, because his image is everywhere. Can you talk a little more about the idea of Figment as the king of Epcot, or as this eternal figure of Epcot?
Well, I'm sure there are people that would disagree with me with that statement, but I think that Figment was this very loved and promoted mascot in a way of Epcot as soon as he got there, and merchandise has kept that up in a way. And really, before he was like part of like the Christmas parades, he would like come out at special events like Figment and Dreamfinder. He was really a key player in Epcot, and that's why I would say he was once the king of Epcot.
Do you have any favorite pieces of Figment merchandise, either that you own or that you've thought if you had a lot more money you would buy?
Oh my gosh. I have like the plush that's like the bigger plush. I don't know how to describe it. I'm very ironically am bad at describing things sometimes, but it's just a cute little Figment plush. I'm staring at him right now. I hope that was a great answer.
Yeah, no, I have so many Disney plushes. You have no idea. Could you talk a little more about how you emulate that spirit of creativity that Figment inspires?
I think inherently in Figment, although it's not like explicitly said, he has this like trial and error, like an acceptance with like failure in a way. And I think that's a weird way of putting it, but I think that it's sort of like, yeah, like say what you think. Like, don't second guess it. Like, anything that comes out of your mouth as an idea is worthwhile. And maybe it's not the idea, and maybe it doesn't move forward. But I think that's sort of like the mentality I bring into a room. It's let's say everything, because my crazy, wild, wacky idea that might not be completely feasible could lead to another person saying a more feasible one, that in turn we all jump on and create this beautiful thing together. That is a way that I try to emulate it. Just let your imagination go wild.
I like that. And that's definitely playing in my, because of course I never got to go on the previous incarnations of Figment's attraction, but in the current one where we're in the emotions lab, and Figment is the whole time, Figment is trying to encourage you, hey, it doesn't need to be restricted. It doesn't need to be on this one path. Let's see what else we can do. What other ideas can we have? I definitely see that spirit you're talking about.
Yes, I adore him and that whole mentality.
Briefly before, you mentioned the song and that you weren't going to sing it, and I'm not going to ask you to sing it, but are there any lyrics from the song that stand out to you as you particularly like?
Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to like go through the song in my head. One time Sophie put a video of her singing the song and tagged me, and it was amazing. I'm like, you should sing it, like get the ukulele. But just is at the heart of all creation. Like that message really means something to me, because it just encourages that imagination should be put on a pedestal. Might not be the best way to say it, but like just really like honed in and really celebrated, because a lot of people do associate creativity and imagination with the arts, like I said. Even so, that's valid, and I think like it's valid for every single field, every passion. And if you put imagination and you like encourage it in like youth or even as an adult or any point of life, like you can really find your passion. Like if you follow your imagination and what really sparks your own brain. I always say lights up my brain. That's like the term I use.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, right. Like that's literally how I describe it. But if you like follow imagination, like just let yourself go free with it, you can really like find that little niche for you. And that could be anything. And if you just encourage that in people, I think people would find their passion a lot sooner.
A single spark of inspiration is at the heart of all creation.
Yes.
Grace, thank you so much for telling us about something you love today.
Thank you for letting me.
And thank you, our listeners, for tuning in today. If you would like to learn more about Figment or our guest Grace, you can find her website in the episode description. And don't forget to use the hashtag #LoveThisThingCast to tell us about the things you love. I Love This Thing So Frigging Much is a production of Through the Window Media. This episode was directed by Sophie A. Katz and edited by Melissa Block. You can find us at Through the Window on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Tumblr. That is THROU the Window at all those social media sites. Be good to yourself, be kind to each other, and you'll hear from us again soon.